All right. Good morning. Suwadi Cop. Sawadi Cop. How's everybody doing? Let's see here. Let me get some things going. Yes, good morning, everybody. Sawadee Cup. Remember to smash that like button if you would be so kind. That's always a good thing. Mr. Mitch, good morning. Everybody else, good morning. Is it called More Than 4 Weeks? I don't know. Let me see. I think so. It's called Four More Weeks. That is the name of the song. Yes, I'd like to give a big shout out to Mr. Carlos today. Thank you very much for joining us. And I'm anxious to try out the rub. Good late evening. Yes. Buenos dias. Buenos noches, everybody. Top of the morning to you. Bienvenido. All that good stuff. All right, let's get these greetings out of the way. Enough of the hellos, goodbyes, and all that kind of stuff. This is a. Yesterday, I was a bit. I don't want to say depressed, but I was a bit saddened by what's going on here in Thailand. If you don't know what's going on, we talked about it the other day. Uh, Things are getting a little more strict here again. They're closing down they're already closed down. A lot of the bars, a lot of the pubs, some of the restaurants, the schools, at least in Bangkok, some of the schools in Bangkok, no kids going to school. I was just thinking about it, how I never see kids on the street in their uniforms. Almost never do I see them anymore, at least in mass. And I'm like, when was the last time I saw, 50 kids in, as a group standing outside the school? Not happening. I'm sure of it. It does happen, but not nearly as much as it used to be, where they're blocking the roads and, parents are coming to pick them up and stuff like that. That stuff's not going on. And to make matters worse, if you go to the community tab on my website or my YouTube channel right here, I've got something from the Public Relations Department of Thailand. Yesterday, Longhorns said, I think there are some restrictions or quarantine for the different provinces if you're coming from certain areas. And I hadn't got that confirmed yet, and I hadn't really seen anything about it other than a couple of places maybe. And last night, was it last night or late? I guess it was the night before, but I didn't see it until yesterday afternoon. There are some interprovincial regulations for people who travel from Bangkok, Pathum Thani, Nonthaburi, Samut Prakan, and Nakhon Pathom. And this is going to make things difficult. And also, there's a number of places where when you go there, they're going to make you self quarantine, or they're going to give you a 14-day quarantine. So that's not good for many people, especially during the Songkran festival. They have canceled the Songkran festivities. However, it's still Songkran. People are off from work. My wife is off all next week. And a lot of people have already started going home, or they wanted to start going home. And I've been reading quite a bit of information about what's going on here. And the vaccination rate here is still piss poor, to put it mildly. Let me just see if I can find this article. Is this the one? Maybe. Okay. The Tourist Authority of Thailand has forecast the following scenarios during Songkran. People will decide to return to their hometowns despite the COVID, as they had not gone home last year due to the nationwide lockdown. People decide to travel to safer cities or areas. They take their personal cars instead of public transport. People decide to stay at home during the festival time, as they are worried about getting infected by the virus. It's estimated that the total travelers during Songkran will not reach the Thailand Authority, or the Tourist Authority of Thailand's original target. 10 to 20% of people have already canceled their room bookings during the festival holidays. All this does not bode well for Thailand. Sword Out Cowboy, you're more than welcome to join me if you would like to. I can send you the send you the invitation if you so desire. I'll just send it to you whether you want it or not. Good morning. Good morning. Let me see if I can find it here. I'm sure I can. Might take me a second. So that's what's kind of going on here. And what that really means, though, is this is a third wave, if you will. And that especially doesn't bode well for the people that own the bars and the restaurants and hotels and pubs and that kind of thing. Let's see here. Because how many times can they go through this? Where are you, Soy Dog Cowboy? Why can't I find you? Oh, there you are. All right, I'm sending this to your line. If you want to join me, you can join me. Otherwise, hopefully you're feeling better, not so under the weather. This does not bode well for the working people in the nightlife areas. And what I've been saying for the last couple of days is, what person is going to want to open up a new bar in the near future, at least? What person's going to want to open up a bar when there's always the risk of being shut down if one person has the virus? What person's going to want to open a bar? What person's going to want to open a restaurant? Now, maybe they'll have a restaurant, and the seated patrons are going to be the minority, and the Grab deliveries will be the majority. I don't know, but what I do know is it's just not good. It can't be good. You cannot travel to other provinces if you're in Bangkok. There's a number of them, and I'm not going to go over every single one of them. Let me see if I can summarize it here real quick. But I can tell you that my wife is not too happy about the thought of Nicholas going anywhere. Buridam, Sakon Nakon, Pechabun, Songkla, Nongkai, Amnat Charan, Chumpon, Royet, Pajup Kirikan, Mukdahan, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Bunkan. It's Bunkan. I don't know if they've got any cases there yet. They didn't when I went before. Udon Thani, Nakhon Phanom, which I went there as well. So it's kind of interesting. Loi and Nong Bulampu, which is near Udon Thani. And all these places require a 14-day quarantine. Konkan is a self-quarantine during the stay in the province. So, this is going to stop a lot of people. This is going to cause a lot of information. Between what? I read that you posted 14 days quarantine between. Yes, that is correct. 21. COVID says F you to New Year's, Chinese New Year's, and now Songkran. Every time when hotels see bookings up for a holiday, COVID says F you. Yeah. We got Soy Dog Cowboy in the house, which is nice. Chucky is unavailable. Lori is working. She's unavailable. And it seems like the other people, they're not up for it at the moment. And I haven't really asked him because I was going to go this solo, to be completely honest. But here's Soy Dog Cowboy. Let's bring him in. The Robert Niro alike. What's happening? Fellow Baldy.
I know.
I'm going to start shaving this all the time, man.
I like the way that looks, Scott. That's
I know, but I don't, I can't concern myself what other guys are thinking or even anybody else. I have to think about how do I like it.
Well, how do you like it?
I like the head being just like this or even a little bit shorter.
Right, and then a little beard. It looks great.
A little bit of a beard like this. She actually cut a little more than I wanted off.
But that looks so quick.
This is okay.
I like it.
This is okay.
Yeah.
It's so freaking hot here, though, that when you have, for me, I have a little bit of hair on my head and I have hair on my face, like a beard.
Yeah.
It's like having a rug on your face.
I know,
just too much. It really is.
Well, look,
Oh, let's see.
that's the season. 'Tis the season. You know, you remember in October and November when people were wearing jackets when it was so nice and cool there. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
that was a treat. You know?
What is this? Your head is. Oh, I got feedback on my thing here. Let me
Yeah,
hang
you
on
have
a second.
feedback. I'm hearing that too.
Oh, that's because I'm going. Hopefully, shit. You know what? Let me turn that down. Yeah, let me turn this down here. Well, shit, it's hard for me to turn it down because I got you on. Hopefully, the audio is quite good.
Well, I hear you fine, you know, and now I don't hear the feedback either.
Good. The thing is I am using a mic now, a Rode mic. Let me show you guys. There it is, right here. On a little stand.
I think I caught that in my raccoon cage. What the hell? That thing is
Well,
hairy.
you know, it's good for the wind, good for any when you say the P's and that kind of thing.
Sure.
And it's also easier just to keep it on instead of having to pull it on and off all the time. But that thing should make the audio for the video, for any videos coming up, and also for the stream. And the good thing about this thing is I can use it on my camera, I can use it on my phone, and I can use it on my laptop. So that's fantastic. Both of you sound good. Yes, well, that's nice. All right, it's 86 degrees today. The high's only going to be 88. However, it's 76% humidity, and it feels like 97 degrees, and it's 9:14 in the morning. So,
well,
it's brutal.
Mr. Mitch says we both sound good, but do we look good? You know, Mr. Mitch.
I don't know about you, but I look good. I mean, we both look good. And actually, I have a hat similar to that. I don't remember what's on it. I know I have a No Fear one, but I have another one also, and I wore it in Amsterdam or whatever. And I like the way I look with the beanie on. I'm good with the beanie.
I like the beanie. I have a small head.
Y'all should wear wigs while streaming for our entertainment. But I'm not into this whole, dressing up as with a wig and hanging out with the lady boys and all that. I'm just not into that. If it happens, it happens. I just don't set out to do it. Like, hey, Soy Dog Cowboy, we got to throw a wig on. No, it's not going to happen.
It's funny. In my Facebook feed, they were advertising these like hair wigs for men, and one of them looked actually pretty good. It was pretty funny, but still not going to wear it.
Yeah, well, I just think of what's his name, George Costanza, with hair on, with a hairpiece on, and that
was such a great episode.
Oh yeah, there's so many great episodes in that show, but his, seeing him with and then what was her name, Elaine? She was trying to pull it off.
I don't like this thing.
I don't like it. You tell Chubby Nick to wear one. He probably would. Don't tell him to wear one. He probably would. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's stay on point here. All right. The nightlife scene. There's quite a few of the pubs in Tonglor and Ekamai. They're saying don't go back there, don't be in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And this in itself is problematic because that's a big hangout area for younger Thais, and they're the ones who bring it home to their parents, to their grandparents, and they spread it, and they get it. And already they're talking about a number of hospitals don't want to administer tests because there's not enough hospital beds in case they start finding people that need to be hospitalized.
Well, the problem with that is, you don't necessarily, like in the States, which we're having another resurgence in some states. They don't hospitalize you unless you need to be hospitalized. Like if you have COVID, they'll say go home and quarantine and monitor your symptoms. And if it gets to a point where you need to come back, then come back. And we'll admit you. But if you just test positive particularly if you're young, they're not putting you in the hospital here. So I don't know what,
Yeah.
the Thai policy seems to be that if you get diagnosed with COVID, you go into the hospital. And that's that's going to fill up the beds much quicker than,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
And
need.
the thing is that it's, there's what, 60 something million people in Thailand, 63 million, something like that. Right now, 500,000 doses have been given to Thai people across the country. And they're
Right.
not forecasting the majority of these injections to be given until the end of the year. They're saying that they're having problems with getting these vaccinations, with getting enough doses, and I don't know. I don't get it. Honestly, I really
Yes.
don't get it. I don't know.
You know,
They're saying that there's a minimum amount that these drug organizations, these drug companies want them to buy, and they don't need that many. I find that hard to believe. I find it hard to believe they can't figure that out. But they're looking for more choices, and they're saying now that they are going to allow private hospitals to sell. It says up to 10 million doses could be ordered by private hospitals. But right now, only two companies, the Chinese Sinotech Biotech and Oxford AstraZeneca, are included in the government's procurement plans for its free jab program over the next two years. After another 1 million doses of CoronaVac from Sinovac has arrived in the country on Saturday, private hospitals are anticipating substantial demands from some segments of the population who are willing to pay rather than have to wait in the queue for free shots. But yeah, that's me. I don't want to wait. I don't care about waiting. I don't care about. I mean, I do, but I'd rather not pay. But I don't trust the government to say, okay, we're gonna vaccinate you, Scott. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So I'd rather get the vaccination out of the way. I'll pay the 2,000, 4,000 baht,
yeah.
whatever.
Listen, waiting 2 years, you're going to have a completely different variant by that time runs around, and they're going to be giving a different formula probably because this thing is constantly mutating, just like the
Right.
flu. So to wait
Yeah.
2 years, you may be administering a vaccine that's not going to do anything. Now it may, because it's still a coronavirus, and that's been they know what coronaviruses are. This is just a variant of that. It just happened to be more virulent. But if they wait, you're gonna 2 years. That's a completely different variant. That's probably going to be out there.
Here's the thing. This is what people don't seem to realize, and they're not thinking about this. If they are starting to lock down interprovincially, right? You're not allowed to travel between provinces, or you have to quarantine. People don't want to quarantine coming in international. They sure in the hell don't want to quarantine coming in to another province from inside of Thailand. And the thing is that what they'll do is they'll make you. And this is a huge. To me, it's just it's a setup for chaos. I don't know if that'll happen, but think about it. You go in through a border overland on a bus or something, and what they do is they make you. What they'll do is they'll make you use their app to sign in, so they know where you are, and they will track you. And if you don't stay there, then you run the risk of paying a fine or going to jail or whatever it is. And for me, it's not so much about getting sick or having to worry about going in the hospital and all that. I'm kind of covered with all that. For me, it's more about I don't want to be the lone foreigner who it was his fault and he got everybody sick, and I don't want to be that guy. So that's why generally, if there's anybody around me, I'm wearing a mask. Now, if I'm walking out on the street or I'm walking through Chatuchak and there's nobody around, and I pull my mask down, that should not be a big deal. Or pull my mask off for a moment to catch a breath, that shouldn't be a big deal. No police officer is going to throw you in jail because you're like, hey, I'm hot, I want to wipe my face off. That's not going to happen. And people
still let you eat. They'll let you eat without the mask. It's Scott, just don't.
They'll let you sit next to other people.
Yeah, I mean, look, as long as they have restrictions between provinces, I'm not traveling between provinces. It's just that simple. You know,
Well,
I'm not even,
here's the thing. Why would you buy a ticket right now?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I mean,
And
honestly,
also, here's the other thing. Here's a big thing. Let's just say that you want to come here and you're the kind of guy, you want to come here for 3 weeks. You want to party your ass off. You want to get laid. You want to run around. You want to go look at temples. You want to have a good time. You want to go visit Pattaya for a couple of days. You want to go to Chiang Mai. You want to go down south to the islands somewhere. And, you want to party. You want to have a good time. Well, guess what? That's off the table in most of these places.
yeah.
So, and then, the people in the areas like Pattaya and wait until you see some of the stuff in Phuket that I filmed. The places are empty. They're gutted. They're not even like, oh, some of these places will open up in a couple of weeks. No, they're gutted, some of these places.
Yeah, that Thai vlogger, the American woman with the Thai husband, she has a video she did. She lives in Choang Beach area where she has a restaurant. Empty. Like, she walked down the street with a camera.
Yes.
Empty. Like, I'm not even talking empty.
I don't know if you remember the stream. There was a stream I did.
Yeah.
Where the sunrise was coming up or something, and I walked around and I walked down Soi Bangla. And there were two old ladies sitting there in the middle of the road. They'd been partying all night. They got a little table set up. They're selling booze. And they got a couple chairs. And they're like, please come here, buy some booze, but get some whiskey, have a drink.
Yeah, called you cheap, right? I remember.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, well, no, that wasn't that one. That was the one who I wouldn't buy water from.
Right.
It was 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, honey, I don't feel like drinking whiskey right now. But I did buy a bottle of water from them. And I sat down and had a little chat with them, which was kind of funny. But they're there, and I'm telling you, on Soi Bangla, the 7-Eleven's closed. The Fresh Mart right next door is closed. All the bars pretty much are closed. And now they're saying close down even further. So what bar owner is going to want to have a bar and say, I'm going to put a lot of money into this bar because it's quite expensive.
Yeah. Listen, if you follow
and all the other money you got to pay out.
If you follow Scott, if you follow Brian Flowers, who owns all the a lot of the bars.
I got no idea who that is.
Yeah, so Brian Flowers, he just started well, he's not streaming, he's doing short videos. He owns about 12 bars on Soy 6, right? And he's opening a Muay Thai gym, which he bought because someone was going out of business, so he got it for a song. But, he's struggling right now. He's not putting more money into new bars because he's got to wait. Like this is going to take years. I was a little
That's
more.
What I mean. And think about something. You got let's say you got 20-year-old Noke who was going to work in the bar, and she didn't really want to go with customers. She just wanted to make a little bit of money from the salary. Yeah. Maybe if she sees a good-looking guy, she'll go bang him, make some money. Maybe she'll find the love of her life, She goes there. She's pulling in maybe 20 grand, 25 grand a month. She's living off of, say, 8,000, 10,000. She's sending the rest home. Guess what? Now she goes home because she has no money to stay there. The family's like, okay, well, we understand because, this COVID, we got COVID now. And she's not able to work a job like that. So, if she's not able to find a karaoke in the local area or something, which that's probably not going to happen because of losing face and that kind of thing. More than likely, what's she going to do? She's going to try to find something else. And when she finds something else, if she's making anything close to halfway decent money, in another 2 years or 3 years, if the bars start coming back, how apt is she to go back to those bars? What's the likelihood she will? It's very uncertain.
You know what, Scott? She may not go, but there'll always be a flow of workers to fill those bars if there are tourists there. The problem is,
wait a minute. I have to stop you there. There are always going to be women who want to make money, and maybe men as well. Don't want to leave Chuck out. But the thing is, Thailand is changing, and it is becoming a more prosperous country.
That
And
is
while
true.
there are quite a few poor in the in Isan and around the country, uh, I think when they don't go to bars and they don't rely on that, I think a lot of them are going to be like, "Hey, this is what else I can do," and I don't have to go with these guys or whatever. I don't have to do this. I've got a halfway decent job. What I don't want to change and go back. I don't want to leave my family. A lot of them don't want to do that. So what's going to send them back if they can make close to the money that they would make working there, or they see the potential? And Thailand is becoming more prosperous.
Well, sure. I mean, obviously, look, there's a lot of
Forget it.
reasons, which could be another stream on why some of these girls work. When I talk to other girls who, and people, they don't want the 9 to 5 life. They want to kind of like wake up at 1 or 2 or work 3 days a week or whatever it
One or
may be.
two. What life are
So,
you living in? One or
in
two. Some of them they're waking up at 4 or 5.
exactly. So, that's what
You know what I
they
mean?
want. But, they're also, what's interesting, since you brought that up about, being more prosperous, is that families are also getting smaller. So you're not having as many children who are growing up to be, old enough to go work in these bars and then go down. Like, that's also becoming less.
Yeah, Thailand has a problem with that. And also, if you talk to a lot of women now who are of birthing age, we'll say,
yes,
they are at that age where maybe they would normally be getting married. Anywhere from about 25 to say 30, we'll say.
right.
A lot of them are saying, "I don't want a man. I want to be alone. I'll be with a guy. I'll have my fun. I'll have a close friend or a boyfriend, but I'm not getting married and I don't want to have kids." There's a lot of them who are saying that.
Listen, I mean, I don't think that's a
More
crazy
than
thing.
20 years ago, for sure.
Look, I didn't have any
So,
kids. I mean, it's there are people, they're realizing that for certain things it's great not to have a kid. Now, Thailand, particularly in the rural areas, it's a different culture where your kids are going to take care of you and et cetera, et cetera.
yeah.
So you're expected to have children for that reason. And frankly, I understand it works.
Right.
But
That is their retirement plan / welfare program / because here in Thailand they don't have a lot to fall back on,
right.
which is why there are food drives and there are people that most Thais will never starve here. There are always people
Yeah.
willing to feed others here.
Yes,
Which,
and
the same can't be said in many other countries. So
no, I
I
mean
applaud
it's
Thailand
wonderful.
for that.
It's wonderful, and I do like when I see Westerners helping out when they can. And it's funny, you get the same skepticism sometimes from food drives that you would in the States, where look, there's some people there they can afford it, they don't need the food. And I'm like, yeah, for every one that's in the line that doesn't need it, there's
I think that's a bunch of bullshit
yeah,
here.
there's
Most people are not coming out and go, "Oh, I got to go get some free food." Now they may go in line for a 2-for-1 Starbucks, but they're not going to go out and, "Oh, can I get my free rice?" Because most of them know they can get rice for a song and a dance. It doesn't really cost them all that much.
yeah.
And well, I think that there are some people that will go back to the bars for sure, and that there will always be some kind of an influx. It goes in cycles. And if you've been around for a while, and even I haven't been in the scene in quite some time, but when I was in, there would be like lulls when the country was doing really well. There weren't as many young, pretty girls like run into the city to go find work.
Right.
Once things started going a little south, then more of them started coming to Bangkok, and they would work whatever job they had to. So I don't know. I kind of wonder what's going to happen, because my thing is that, yeah, there's always going to be people looking to make money. There's always people looking to open like a club. Oh, because hey, let's face it. A lot of people, they think that owning a club is the way. It's like, oh, I got to own a club. I'm gonna have girls all around me. I got plenty of money. But there's an old saying here, and that is that the best way to make a lot of money, or to make a little money in Thailand, is to start with a lot. Because if you're going to own a bar, you damn sure better know what the hell you're doing, and you better not be some guy who just comes over here and he's been on 1 or 2 trips here and he's in love with some girl, and you decide you're going to open a bar up. That's not how it works. Right. For the most part, you're going to end up with nothing.
It's interesting.
I've seen it happen.
It's interesting. You mentioned about Tonglor, and I think maybe we read the same article, but the Thai people are really getting pissed at the Haiso crowd because they're the ones that are going out and partying in Tonglor at these clubs. And
even the cops.
Yeah, they're like, I do not like this, and so they're taking heat, which is nicer than the foreigner taking heat because there aren't that many foreigners here. So, it's
that's the thing. I don't want any heat on me because of COVID.
Right.
I don't want to be the guy who gets accused of killing somebody or spreading this or spreading that. That's the thing for me. I can tell you already that I was going back and forth with Nicholas about about where we should go, what we should do. Is he going to go? Does he really want to go? Because I don't want to push him, And he's like, well, listen, I'm comfortable at home. I don't really have to go anywhere. I love the beach, and he's kind of like me, even at a young age, where he doesn't want to travel. He just wants to be there, but he wants to be extremely comfortable. He doesn't want to be like, oh, this toilet doesn't work very good because we're in a 2-star hotel, or, this location isn't that great, or the food sucks here. He doesn't want that because he's got everything he needs right here. So we were talking about it. And my wife goes, listen, there's no need for you guys to go anywhere right now because it's too iffy. And I just got some insurance.
I agree. I agree with her.
I just got some insurance, and the insurance doesn't cover you for the first 2 weeks.
Right.
So if I was to go out and catch it right now, they're not going to cover me. My other insurance will cover me, but not this one. The actual COVID insurance, so. There's a lot to think about. Insurance doesn't cover you for the first 2 weeks. Right. So, what are you doing?
Oh, shit.
What are you going to cover me? Listening back. My other insurance will cover me. All right, this is a good time. Please remember to smash that like button if you'd be so kind. I'd appreciate that. Smash that like button. Isn't that what they say in YouTube circles? I know I'm a little old for this, but it's smash the like button. Hey, could you guys click the like button? No, smash that like button. That's what I was told. I was told by a number of people that you need to smash the like button. You need to be telling people, telling whatever, smash the like button. Don't just say, could you please click the like button? You got to use the word smash, because for some reason, especially with men, they start thinking about smashing, and I don't know. They like it, I guess. So
who knows?
Thank you very much for smashing the like button. That's true. There we go. That's true. Apparently. Quick the wick button. I don't understand that. Quick the white button. Okay, Bugs or Elmer Fudd there. Let me see here. Pummel that thumb. Yeah, pummel. How about pound? I like the word pound. I'm not going to say why. Anyway, the lack of vaccinations is something quite worrying to me. And I've already said that I don't really want to think about news back in the U.S. I'm trying to put it out of my head. I'm sick and tired of the COVID. I got the COVID. If I got anything from the COVID, it's the COVID fatigue.
Yeah, a lot of people have that, right? Including me.
I am just so sick of it. But I do think it's important for myself and my family to keep up with what's going on. And when they say 500,000 doses have been given out, I don't know where they've been given out. Maybe it's to the essential workers. But I know that in the South, they're planning on doing things. What happens if they don't open up in Phuket on July 1st? That's only, a couple of months away. A lot can happen. But new confirmed cases, I'm looking at this, 789 new cases, 1 fatality, which, I'm not going to go there, but 789 new cases from this recent wave.
Mm.
And it says of the new infections, 522 had been contracted locally, 259 were found via proactive testing, and 8 overseas arrivals tested positive in quarantine. The returnees included both Thais and foreigners. 3 were from Russia, while others were from the U.S., U.K., Oman, Canada, and India. A 68-year-old man in Nakhon Pathom province who was infected with COVID-19 died on April 4th. Doctors concluded he died from the COVID-19 and complications. This is the other thing. Of all the people who have died, how many are older and would probably die anyway? And how many died specifically because of the virus? That's what I'd like to know.
Well, I mean, we kind of talked about that once. Let's say that, you were older and you had 6 months to live and you got COVID and you died immediately. It took your life 6 months earlier than it should. So, but, I'm more concerned with the outlier, not the 80-year-old that's dying, but my age or younger, that reacts differently. It reacts differently. It's very weird. You know me, I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I started doing a little bit more research, and I'm still don't necessarily know what the answer is, but I did more research on, was this from a lab in Wuhan or was this from a wet market? And, there's no, they explain how they determine that things are from, man-made. And that apparently hasn't shown up in this type of virus. The spikes that they look at, they could tell, if something is sort of manufactured.
I did see the article. One article, I think it's the same one, but it said something about that they concluded they think it came from a bat.
Yeah, well, a lot of them, it's interesting about these viruses that a lot of them come from freaking bats, and it's weird. Like,
I want to stay away from bats. Bats and monitor lizards.
Right. Oh my God, that lizard was huge. That was a big freaking lizard, man.
That one right there would have taken your hand off or your arm
easily.
Off right there.
Yeah, I mean, it was that 7-Eleven was big monitor. They should call it 7. And
let me tell you, I've been next to a couple of those things where they were about 2-3 feet away from me. And even when they're not all that big, it's just unnerving. They're prehistoric creatures.
It's a goddamn dinosaur. It's incredible. Anyway, getting back to it. So, as Mr. Mitch, he believes it's from a lab. I don't know, but the fact is that if it was, they're not going to tell us, and that's the thing. And so, this thing is so freaking virulent. They had said something else. It could have been a natural forming COVID that they brought to the lab to experiment with, and to see with, and then that got out. The way it gets out is that their workers who are there are not following the proper protocols. It's on them, and then they go out and
sloppiness.
So
that's what it is. It's sloppiness.
Right. So it's not like China, and I would have passed them, but it's not like China said, we're going to release this. It's more of they didn't do the proper protocol.
Honestly, I don't think they could have planned it. There's no way that they were smart enough not to, listen, I know I've said some things about China, but not to slam China. But I just don't think any government could have planned something like this, in mass to where, the whole world is going to suffer because, listen, the whole world is suffering right now.
Right. Well, they could have released it.
I feel pretty lucky here,
Yeah. Listen, look, I'm vaccinated one shot so far. I'll be getting in 2 weeks the last of it, and I feel lucky to be able to do that. And it's not a be all end all. I still can get it, but I shouldn't be hospitalized technically. I mean, that's kind of what the thing is. But yeah, so due to the sloppiness in some lab, it's mistakes happen. It's sort of like if you look at, when we had in Japan with their nuclear meltdown in Fukushima, whatever the hell you pronounce that, from the tsunami,
Or Russia.
or 3 Mile Island when we had it in the 70s.
Yeah.
Which so many people don't even know about anymore. But
Right.
but that was massive, and it's through fucking up, frankly. So these, but when you're screw up,
Should I cut the left wire or the right one? You know what? I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with the left. And then, you blow the place up. And it's like, maybe you should get your supervisor, who knows, or consult the manual.
Yeah, it's like Homer Simpson running the safety.
Exactly.
Oh
God.
But yeah, so I don't know what it is. Ordinarily, I always go with science on everything, but this one, I don't know. I'm open to hearing other points of view and not saying, "Oh, you're just a conspiracy nut," because this is a little bit different, and we'll see. It's going to be very hard to get to the bottom of it, just because people aren't going to want to admit.
Yeah, I'm looking at this article here. This one's on Bangkok Jack, and it's about even American chain outlets like McDonald's, Burger King, and Starbucks are shut. Now, I was only in Patong Beach, or Patong, but I went down there, and there was one Starbucks open out of like 4 that I went by.
Terrible.
And McDonald's, Burger King, all shut down. They were all shut and gutted. They didn't have anything left. They had taken everything out. So it wasn't like, hey, we're going to be opening up soon. This is the kind of thing. This is not, I hate to say this, and I don't mean to sound like an alarmist at all, but it is I've said for a long time, it's a game changer, but at this point, it is a complete world changer and lifestyle changer to where, look, people are relying on Grab more often now for food. I'm relying on Grab. I'm relying on groceries to be delivered. I don't want to have to bring the groceries. I don't want to have to go over there just for groceries. And some days I go to the mall just to get groceries. And there are some things that I can't get through Grab that I can get, at the grocery store. But if I just go there,
I'm for the most part, nervous. Are you? It's funny. I'm not nervous of going to the grocery store. And that's where I would get it if I would get this thing, because I don't go out. So I go to the grocery store. I wear my mask. I have not been diligent. I have not been diligent with that. So
I've been pretty diligent.
That's the thing.
I don't always like it because let's face it. Now, at this point, now they're trying to conserve on the hand cleaner, and they give you. The other day when I was in Cafe Amazon and I was leaving, I was getting ready to start streaming or whatever and leave. I put some of the hand cleaner on, and I'm like, man, this stuff is greasy. It took like 10 minutes to dry on my hand. I'm like, why are you giving me this crappy hand cleaner that, it usually dries in like 30 seconds,
I know.
So, I got to say one thing. I got to say one thing because we're already an hour in. And
Mitch too.
Don't forget, and I guess I should pin this, but don't forget, if you want to buy a shirt or a coffee mug, and Chuck's not here to pimp the coffee mug, you get 20% off. The description has the code in there. It's Krabi1, Krabi, and then the number 1. You get 20% off of all items on the website there in the shop, and that helps me, as many other ways do. You can always click the super chat, or you can join and become a member of YouTube, become a YouTube sponsor. You can become a Patreon patron. You can use the PayPal. You can use the Cash App. You can use the Apple Money. You can use whatever you damn well please, pretty much. These days, all options are open. The only thing I don't have is that thing called Buy Me a Coffee, which is actually pretty good. It would probably be pretty good for me since I'm always drinking coffee. But I might change that. I might see if I can change their name to Buy Me a Mojito, because that's going to become that is my new drink, mojito, because it's so damn hot here. Thank you very much, Joe Ford. You are the first, the last, and the I always
Everything.
want to sing that Barry White song when
Yeah.
I
You're my
you're the
first,
first of
my
the day.
last, my everything.
Yeah. Except I forgot how the whole rhythm of it and how the song goes. I haven't listened to it in so long. Remember when Barry White was the man?
He really, well, that voice,
Yeah,
you'll
baby.
never find.
Can't
Oh,
get enough. What was what?
you'll never
Uh,
find another love like mine.
yeah,
The
copyright,
way, the way I do.
copyright,
Oh man, he was. I mean,
copyright violation.
that guy was like ladies love Barry White, man.
Ladies love because he slings that pipe. He lays it down when he
Yeah.
sings deep. Oh God,
There was another guy that was kind of similar in that Barry White and someone else. God, who was it?
Matt Monroe.
Mm-mm. Another black guy. I don't
What was
remember.
that guy's name? I think I know who you're talking about, right? I know a guy that sings like that. I can't remember. What can I say? Will Thailand be offering scholarships to travel to Thailand if I can't afford it? Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Yeah, that's going to happen. And they're going to be. Listen, a guy the other day sent me a message and asked me, do you need to learn to speak the language if you're going to become a citizen? I said, well, yes, you do. You will be tested. They will try you out, and if you don't speak the language, you're not going to be granted citizenship. Um, and then he said, "Well, so are they going to give? Are they going to give me the lessons for free?" I'm like, "This ain't Norway, This ain't Sweden or one of these countries that does that. This is Thailand. Here you got to pay for that shit, And if you want to come on over for a scholarship on a scholarship here, you're going to at least have to pay your airfare, you know. No, we don't want to hear you sing, Mr. Mitch. I'm sorry.
yeah, Teddy Pendergrass, Luther Vandross.
Luther Vandross,
Yeah,
he was
they
one
love
of them.
and Al Green and
I
Al
can't
Green.
keep up with these guys.
Yeah,
All
those.
these people singing now. I can't keep up with all the singers and the musicians and uh, Lori gave me a channel on YouTube that has new artists, and then I've got Spotify always recommending stuff to me. I got my kids. Hey, have you heard this one? Have you heard that one? I'm like, no. I'm like, I just want to listen to Creedence Clearwater and the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and Boston and Metallica is new for me. Or the Killers is like a new band to me. So anyway, times are changing, and they're changing in Thailand too. And that's what remains to be seen. You can say what you want about the other countries, but I think there's going to be some major changes here. And they've wanted to do away with a lot of the nightlife for quite some time, and I think that they will succeed in doing away at least a portion of it, a good portion of it. And I'm saying they will. I don't mean they as in they're intentionally trying to do that, but I think the COVID is going to exasperate things enough to the point where um, it's not going to be worthwhile. The government's going to make it difficult because of the possible risk. I mean, imagine they allow all the bars to open up again, and then somebody goes into a bar and he spreads the virus to 500 other people, and those people spread it, and then the whole country's infected again because they opened the bars up. Think about that, how they're thinking. Possibly how they're thinking. They have to think about the masses and what is the potential, not just And I hate to say it, as much as we may hate to hear about wear your mask, wash your hands. It's not that dangerous. It is dangerous. Bottom line is that the government they want to make sure that their citizens, for the most part, are as safe as possible because no politician wants to be the guy who's responsible for 20 million deaths or whatever it is. Universities are losing millions here from no international students. Well, maybe that's good that there's no Chinese students being allowed there. I don't know. But here in Thailand, a lot of the kids in Bangkok, it's online only again, which that's very telling. You know,
Yeah,
Go
you
to
know.
Prachuap Khiri Khan. That is what Thailand will look like with no nightlife. I've been to Prachuap many times, and it's a nice place. It is quiet. which I like. And there's a couple islands that I've been considering going to, um, and a couple of them are in areas that I can go to. I just don't know that it's the smartest thing to do at the moment. It might not be the smartest move, and not because I might get something and I might be sick. That obviously is a concern, but the bigger concern for me is bringing something back to my family and putting them at risk, and having the government on my ass about, what did you do? Where have you been? And I can't remember. And, I don't know how they are. You know, I don't want to be in that position. There is a rule here that I have stated for many years. One of the rules is don't get emotionally involved with working women, as in bar girls. The other is the man with the gold makes the rule. And one other one, in this case, is that you don't put yourself in a position of disadvantage with any government.
Hmm.
And since I'm in Thailand, I live in Thailand. You don't want to put yourself in a position of disadvantage here, because it's just not the right place to be. You want to put yourself in a position where you go, nope, I've been quarantined for the last month. Nothing's happened to me. I've had my mask on. I've had my hands cleaned all the time. I got insurance. I'm ready to go. Boom, boom, boom. And they're like, what are you going to do? Guy hadn't been anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, look, there's one guy I know. He's in quarantine right now, and he's going to get out in a day and a half, and nothing's going to be open.
Yeah, that's the other reason. Why is anybody going to come here? Okay, now we're going to see. Do people come here for the culture, or do they come here to party and have a good time and visit the eye? And some people do all of the above. They go to, especially younger people. Let's face it, younger people. They come and they want to go to Samui or something like that. They meet up with some chick. Maybe the chick's she's on the fence. She just needs a little cash. She's with the guy. Hey, honey, can you give me a little scratch? I need a little for this and that. Okay, babe, whatever you say. He's having a great time. He wants to go out and have some drinks, and she's going to show him around the island and have a great time. Well, guess what? When you don't have anybody that's at the bar to show you around, and you don't have a bar open,
Well,
then
I
you
will
might as
say,
well.
Scott, that's an interesting point, because you could get back to the old school way, which is that you hook up with a girl and you stay with her for a while, because
You hook up with them on Tinder.
yeah, and then you're not butterflying around, because
Yeah,
nothing's
but that's
open.
not what guys want to do. That's what the girls want.
Right, but some
The girls
guys.
want that. The guys, listen, most guys, if they were smart, they would listen to another rule, which is, I saw somebody did a video about, like three times and that's enough. Bullshit. One time. You do them one time and you do them right, and you're hanging out with them, and and you present yourself fairly well. The girl's going to want a second and third and a fourth time. And I was thinking about something. I remember I went to the Philippines many years ago, and I went into a place and I met some chick, and I'm with her. And I was partying, I was drinking tequila, and we had a good time. The next day I went into the same club, and hey Carlos, I went into the same club, and there's another girl there. I'm sitting there chatting with her. I end up going, okay, let's go. The girl from the night before sees that I'm taking that one, and she tells me, fuck you. I'm like, what? What's the deal? You know what I mean? But that's how, two times, three times, man, if listen, you better be careful if you're going to hook up with them and stay with them on something like you meet them on Tinder and they go, oh, they seem so sweet. They're so nice. She's going to take me around the island. And guess what? She's hot. She'll probably bang me the whole time. And I'm willing to pay. Okay. But you know what? You're going to have a hard time getting rid of her. She might bitch and moan. She might make your life miserable. So you better damn sure be careful. And the safe way, if you're dealing with somebody who wants the money, is it's a business transaction. When the transaction's over, thank you, sweetie. It was a wonderful time, and we'll see you later. I don't know when. I can't promise you anything. That's the way to go. But I know everybody in this stream here is married, and they don't do those kind of things. Yeah. Anyway. Mr. Cowboy, your take on this, because you're a young, single, virile man.
Well, young,
Not virile.
I don't know about, but
At least you're one
God,
of the three.
yeah, those are the old. We'll see. Look, I kind of have not been doing that for a while now. I used to do it. Now I don't really care that much to do it.
Yeah.
I don't have the.
You get to that point where you just.
I just don't have that drive anymore in like the need, but and that's me, because I got to tell you, there are guys I've met in Pattaya that are older than me, and they're going crazy, and I'm like, how?
Yeah. Well, it's not about how. I mean, really, it's a matter of what's important and what you really want. Some guys, listen, I mean, think about it. Some girls are really, really into sex. Some girls aren't. Some men are really into it. Some men aren't. Look at Al Bundy. Al Bundy never wanted to. It's like, oh God, we got to go. We're going to have sex again, the monthly sex session.
Yeah. Well, I think that was just because he couldn't stand his wife.
Yeah, I know.
Technically, although he did, there was always that circle around where he loved her and his kids. But anyway, look, the old rules still apply. Which is never from the same bar, two different girls. They're going to get jealous, and it's all those things.
Yeah.
They haven't changed.
It's sad. It's too bad that the girls in the same bar couldn't be a little more businesslike, because if they acknowledge that, hey, this is business. You want to go with my friend? Okay. Now, some of them can, but some of them, they have a real problem with it. Like Carlos said, they pitch a fit and they threaten to kill themselves, or they're going to kill you, or you're an asshole and they want to punch you, and
or they get mad at the other girl because you knew that was my customer. Look, it's a business to the other girl. It's a business to them, meaning that this is my customer. Like, I get him. So
it's not. It was your customer on that night.
Well,
now he's not your customer anymore. It's like I went to Costco. Now I decided to go to, Foodland. What are you going to do? You're going to get mad? If I went to McDonald's one day and went to Burger King the next day, you're going to get mad at me?
Well, listen, that's normal thinking. They don't think that way. So,
this is Thailand.
This is Thai. Exactly. So, I think that. I don't even know how we got in this direction
because we're talking about bars and bar girls, and are they going to open up?
Yeah. Well, listen, nothing's going to. I think that everything will come in a cycle, but with these variants coming, I think it's going to be a much longer time than even I thought for things to get back.
Some of the guys in this chat might be too damn old by the time things come around. Another 5-10 years, when things get back to semi-normal, if that's how long it takes, some of these guys might be going, listen, I'm done. I don't feel like traveling and going these places and running around after these girls and putting up with their bullshit. That's the other thing you got to remember, is that while there are some good ones out there, sometimes you got to put up with a lot of nonsense.
Yeah,
for a little bit of fun.
But Scott,
that's why Thai guys go to like soapies, because they don't want to deal with the bullshit.
Right, but the younger guys will replace the older ones. So that's kind of how it works.
I don't know. Like if you listen to Don Fry, the fighter from the MMA fighter, if you listen to him. And he said this quite some time ago, but look at the way that America is going with men. Men are becoming more feminized. They're starting to now listen. Think about it. They've got to watch what they say. They got to watch what they do. They can't say this. They can't say that. They can't be too forward. All these things.
Yeah, I think that's a little overblown, but I think that there are always guys that'll be there to replace the older guys,
it might take some time.
It will take time, and Thailand's changed like every other place. As we talked about many times in the past, it's not what it used to be, and things are much more. There are many more.
Never will be again.
Yeah,
and this made sure of it.
Right.
It really has. It's made sure that, this place is not. I'm reading something now. Let's see here. Okay. It's about how Thailand, the lockdown has ended your freedom forever. and it's talking about two working girls who. It says there may be a rebirth of the bar and sex industry in Bangkok, in a sort of fashion, but it will be only in the image the government permits. These girls' freedom to do what they like and think for themselves has gone now. That's over. Thailand continues to shut bars and clubs and then permit them to reopen at random, apparently without any real evidence that lockdown measures actually work. In fact, the real evidence points to them not working at all. It is hard to say under the current government of Thailand, who lie about absolutely everything. Ooh, harsh. And there is no reliable information at all. But evidence from other countries reveal lockdowns as disastrous for people's health as well-being. Which I don't disagree with that, because the lockdowns, get to be hard on people mentally, emotionally. Lockdowns and other restrictions appear to have put an end to Thailand's lucrative sex industry. For some people, this is a good thing, but for those who were part of it and earning the sort of money never available back in the villages, this has been a disaster. Not only the sex industry, have a thought for the tens of thousands of tour guides whose money has long since run out, hotel workers, taxi drivers, and just about everyone else in the service industry catering for Thailand's 40 million tourists each year have also run out of savings. This can only lead to desperation, suicide, starvation, and a rise in crime. How's that for an outlook? Well, I think that's a little bit overblown. I don't think we're at that point now, but I think it will get to that point. I think some are at that point, but the majority are not. And all this for a minor flu virus with a 99.4% survival rate. Have you not figured this out yet? Yeah, that's one thing that even my wife said to me last night, and she is Thai, of course. Why don't we just open up and see what happens? Maybe we're better off that way. And I'm like, that's true. YouTube streams are popping up everywhere with people
some
buying
countries
online. Yeah, I've seen that, and whatever, to each his own. I'm not going to do that, but whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to do it. Like, it's just, to me, it's let them do it. They're involved in that. It's not my life now. Will the government of the world remove all the restrictions after all this? I'm not going to go there. The working girl, what is this? The working girl scene will probably go underground, just like in most countries. It already is. It's kind of underground, but it's online underground.
Underground usually means trying to be undetected. They're just moving to a different way of meeting, which makes sense,
Yeah. Florida has been open for months, and they are doing no worse than other places that have. I mean, Soy Dog Cowboy, you're in Florida. My family's in Florida, and that's something else. And to consider that some of the places are doing fine. They're not doing all that bad. So, what if you just open? How about we just open up in select areas? Very small areas.
Some places aren't.
No quarantine, nothing. And you say, if you want to come in, it's on you. But you better have, your insurance. You better have this. You better have that. And they let in, say, 1,000 people into a certain little island or something. And
but they're doing that, and then those people go back home or wherever it is, and they're bringing it there. And there's a lot.
Where is that happening?
Well, in the States, in the United States, there's certain states that are not, in lockdown, and right now they're starting to spike. It happens. Everyone talks about the mortality rate or whatever, but the fact is that you've got well over 500,000 people that died from this thing. A typical flu season is about 60,000. It's a big difference, and I can't say that whether these lockdowns are working or not. I don't know. I think that when this thing finally everyone's vaccinated here in the States, for example, and things sort of get back to normal, we could see, okay, based on how lockdowns rolled out, things like that.
Well, how much have the places that have been vaccinated in mass in the United States? and that have been mostly vaccinated, those places, how much better are they doing now than they were before?
I don't know. I mean, the fact is that, people are just getting into it. I know that 25% of the entire population in the United States has at least one shot. And in some states, in some city centers like New York City, they've gotten a much higher rate of vaccination. I think in a few months, you're going to really see a much higher rate. And again, the vaccination doesn't prevent you from getting COVID. It prevents you from dying from
Getting
COVID.
really sick.
Yeah. So, that's really the end game here, is to keep these ICUs, available for people who need it. We just don't have
to keep people alive.
Yeah.
You don't want to be dying from something like I always say, and I hate to put it graphically like this, but you don't want people walking around wondering, they're all coughing and everybody's dropping like flies in the street. You don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I don't have the answers. I don't want to sound like I'm right, you're wrong. I don't know.
No, that's the problem. Nobody really knows. Not scientists.
But I do think that, following the guidelines that are out there is the wise thing to do. And getting everyone vaccinated, I think, is the wise thing to do. And then let's see what happens. I don't believe in conspiracy of this is to control the world and control the population. It's just like, it's not doing anyone good, but let's see.
Well,
let's
you know what? I think that some of the people who are in charge enjoy having the kind of control that they have with this going on now, with this situation. They enjoy the control. They like the control. They have more. They feel they have more power than before. I don't think that anybody set out to say, I'm going to be, I'm going to have further power. Ha ha ha! I'm Dr. Evil. That kind of mentality. I think that's ridiculous. So, I don't buy into the whole, conspiracy theory and all that other kind of stuff. I just don't. And hopefully things will it may take, the problem is, and I've found this with a lot of things in life, things will eventually work out, and they're going to work out, and you may not like everything about the way that they work out, but they will work out. And it's just probably going to take longer than you would like it to. You can't always have everything you want right that minute. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Sometimes all good things come to those who wait. And, what choice do we have? That's the problem. What choice do we have?
Well, right now we don't. That's right. And, let's, I do think there is some sort of light at the end of the tunnel.
I hope so.
Let's get through this. I think this summer, here in the States at least, Thailand's definitely not, because it's going to take them a while to get, vaccinated, everyone vaccinated. But,
what is this bullshit? What is this bullshit? So funny to hear this what fucking political correctness? Get the fuck out of here. Political correctness. You obviously are full of shit.
Well, I mean, I think he's just trying to say that I'm not being angry enough.
You're not being controversial enough and taking sides. Yeah. Here's the thing. I am not a scientist. I can look at things and make my own judgment, make my own call, but that doesn't mean that it's right. I am just giving my opinion. That's what a lot of people are doing. That's what Soy Dog Cowboy is doing. That's what I'm sure probably everybody in this chat is giving an opinion. They're not giving something based on scientific research. So this is why I'm hesitant to jump on either side. I do think that it's overblown, and I think that the people who are in charge, they enjoy having the kind of power that they have, and in many places, including the United States. And for that, I mean, listen, I don't even want to know the United States is so out of hand, in my opinion. I don't even want to know what's going on anymore. Really, I don't care. Why? I live here. I've been here almost 30 freaking years. I don't need to know everything that goes on in the United States. And I feel for the people who are there. It's not that I don't care. So let's not get carried away and say Scott is selfish and he only cares about himself. But the bottom line is I can only care about so many people, and I only got so many fucks to give. So if nobody likes that, tough shit. That's a bottom line. There,
Yeah.
that's not politically correct. And, if that's not good enough, then, like I said, everybody can go fuck themselves. All right?
There you go.
How's that?
I'll tell you,
There you
good
go.
news. Coney Island opened. So,
Woo! Now I'm
so,
happy.
so all the rides in Coney Island have opened.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was
Wow.
closed.
Are you going to go?
Yeah, when I get
Really?
home. Yeah, I'm close to Coney Island. I'm not far from Coney Island, where I live in New York. So I love Coney Island. It's it's a dirty place, but it's still kind of gritty, and I like that.
Mhm.
And they had refurbished a few of the rides. The famous parachute jump they fixed years ago, and they have two roller coasters. Of course the most famous one, which is made of wood, and it scares you just because it feels like it's going to fall apart while you're on it. And
Right.
and then this new one, but it's good. It's good. So you're seeing a few things. New York, until they have to open theaters. That's really will be the signal that things are going to get back to normal. Broadway is the barometer. So we'll see when that opens. Supposedly this summer, but all the hotels have to be open. Like everything has to be open to take visitors that want to go to see Broadway shows. They have to travel to New York. They have to go stay in the hotels. The restaurants have to be open. Then the theaters can survive. So it all has to happen together. It can't just do it in piecemeal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Well, somebody a lot of people have been asking, like, well, why is it such a big deal that the people are going to the bars? And when you think about it, they did say, one of these public figures said, the people in the bars, a lot of the people they spoke to said, no, they don't wear their mask inside the bar. And okay, you could say, well, they don't wear them inside restaurants too, but restaurants are also another place where some people, end up getting it. But in bars, people, there's music playing, they want to talk, so they reach over and they whisper in somebody's ear. They're in their face. There's a lot closer proximity in bars than in many other parts of Thai culture. When you think about it, in Thai culture, people a lot of times don't even shake hands. So here they are, and they don't make out in public generally. They're not doing these kind of things. In a bar, people get drunk. They start getting loose. Even the women, they start, macking on some guy that they like or whatever, and people are whispering in each other's ears, and they're getting closer because they can't hear each other. That's my own personal hypothesis.
Well, I think that's not so crazy. I mean, bars in general, with alcohol, you're going to not be that careful. I mean, it just is. That's universal.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it begs the question: do I need to stock up on more booze now?
Well, I mean, it can't hurt. Liquor doesn't.
Well, I mean, I got enough tequila, but I do need the ingredients. Actually, I'm thinking I need the ingredients for margaritas and for mojitos, and also it would be beneficial to have at least a 12-pack or a case of beer at all times. So I'm going to have to really give that some serious consideration today and tomorrow. That's my big decision of the day. Should I go out and buy some booze because they may shut down? They may ban the alcohol in the next week or two. We'll see what happens in about 2 weeks when everything pans out.
Well, they're not doing the Songkran. Is it canceled? Like, what's going?
It's canceled, but people are still on holiday.
Okay.
But the festivities are canceled. The water was canceled prior to that. They were still going to have the Songkran festival. But now what it is they're, and they had said we're going to extend it from the 10th to the 16th in some places. And some people are only off from the 13th to the 15th. Some are open from the 13th, or closed from the 13th to the 16th. But a lot of people are just they left like Friday night and they're going home, or they're going home Friday night and they'll be off until not the coming Monday, but the Monday after that. So they'll be off for like, what is that, 9-11 days. So,
well, I mean, look, Songkran technically is the biggest holiday in Thailand every year. And
yeah, I mean, just because they say they've canceled Songkran, that doesn't mean that it's not a holiday. They
Right.
still follow the holiday. So
Well,
I'm going to be clear about that.
let's see how many deaths there
And
are.
the
'Cause
festivities.
whew, I'll tell you, man, the number of road
Yeah.
deaths when that holiday rings around. I don't even travel. Every time I've been there for Songkran, I just don't go anywhere because I don't want to be on
Well,
the
I
road.
haven't in the last few years, but I mean, I've been to Myanmar during the what do they call it? The Tianjin Festival or something like that. I forget what it is. And then in Cambodia, I went there for the festival, and then I've been, in Thailand for many festivals, and played in the water and all that kind of stuff. But it's been a while, just because I don't feel like going out and getting, dumped, having water dumped on
Yeah,
me and getting soaked. And then when you got your phone or you got some electronics with you, got to worry about, hey, am I okay with that? I got to put this in a bag, and then,
yeah, yeah.
so
I
it's
hate
gotten a
it.
little bit too carried away in some
I
places.
agree. Look, Pattaya,
Um,
it lasted like 10 days. Something loony, and
yeah, that's just crazy.
I remember I would start, like, if you go out in the morning, like 7 a.m. to like 11, you can go to the stores, whatever, and no one's really splashing. After that, you're screwed. So I would get all
Mm,
the food I need, and then I would just hole up in my apartment, and I just wouldn't go out. The
yeah.
last day was a blast, but other than that, terrible. I just, Songkran's fun to do for me once, and then after that, that was
I got
enough.
to be in the mood for it, and I just haven't. Listen, maybe it's because I'm older. Maybe it's just because I just don't feel like dealing with it because I've already done it, many times. But it's not as fun as it used to be for me. I don't feel like going out and with a bucket and or with a big squirt gun and shooting people and worrying about. I always worried about if I was to grab a bucket of water and throw in some guy's face that's riding a motorcycle, he's going to crash. And then it's on me, What the
Yeah,
heck
yeah.
does buying alcohol in a store have to do with the COVID spread? Well, people tend to be a little more friendly, and they want to mingle when they're drunk or when they're drinking.
Well,
That's the
yeah,
problem,
Thais tend to have parties a lot where they'll sit around together in groups and drink, and they're trying to
for
prevent.
whatever reason.
Yeah, they're trying to prevent that. But look,
Yeah,
a
this is
lot of,
the other thing. How long is the vaccine going to be good for? And then, oh yeah, we'll let you in, but you've got to have the vaccine in the last 30 days, that kind of thing.
right. That's a good point. I know, as Two Minds said, it's good up to 6 months. Well, the real reason is they know it lasts at least 6 months. It may be longer, but I do believe this will be an annual shot, just like the flu vaccine. That's what this will
Yeah,
be.
yeah,
But
probably.
but what's interesting is, they did say a couple of weeks ago, that to enter Thailand you had to have it within 3 weeks, 3 months, excuse me. I'm not going to get another shot if I had it, 4 months out and then say, well, I needed this now, so that's going to come into play as well, because
Yeah,
I'm willing to do this once a year. That is what I'm willing to do for this,
yeah, me too.
but
And
nothing more than that. So they're going to have to come up with a way. If this comes around like the flu during the flu season, quote unquote, which is, in the fall and, usually November, through, and you can get it like the shots in October, I'll do that. But twice a year, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to do it. And most people won't. And I got to tell you, most people, and this is going to be an issue, most people aren't going to go for 2 shots all the time. It's a pain in the ass, and it's
yeah,
uncomfortable. I know, look, this is the first time we're through this. So they're figuring all these things out. This vaccine is brand new, but I think they're going to have to come up with a way, and they probably will, just like the Johnson & Johnson one, where you get it with your flu shot. It's once a year, and you're one and done. And I think that's where we'll wind up, being.
yeah.
So
Well,
see, that's
the
okay.
long and winding road,
Yes.
and it's a roller coaster, and that's the only way. That's the best way I know how to put it. It's a roller coaster. 1 minute, everything looks good, and like, wow, we're almost through this. It looks like we're going to get through this. Yeah, it won't be long now. Hey, guys, guess what? We're going to drop the quarantine. Hey, well, guess what? If this explodes, if something happens and it just keeps getting bigger here, which, it could, and they don't stop the spread of it, how are they going to justify opening up Phuket? And who the hell's going to want to go there if all the bars are closed? It's not going to happen.
Well, yeah, Scott, you're right. I mean, the fact is that because Thailand really hasn't had any kind of massive outbreak, if one were to occur, they're sort of behind the curve, like, because
Yeah.
everyone's been through this. Now, if they get everyone vaccinated, hopefully that won't happen. Hard to say, hard to say.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, when they're talking about 2 years to vaccinate everybody, that to me,
That's crazy. I can't believe
I
it.
wish I could think positive, but even my, listen, I don't want to tell you what my wife said about it, but it has to do with T money, it's
Yeah.
just kind of like, what is the exact reason why? And they're saying that it is. It has to do with availability and that kind of thing, but I just have a hard time believing that. That's just my own opinion.
Well,
But
listen, they will. Availability right now is an issue. I mean, I was reading something. Israel is not paying for some of their vaccines. Look at these eyebrows, by the way. Jesus Christ, they grow like they're freaking weeds, man. Not on my head, but the eyebrows. God damn it.
yeah, mine are okay. Mine are okay. I'm all right with my eyebrows.
And anyway, there's a pecking order. Who's going to get what vaccines based on availability, right? This is right now because it's brand new. So, but to me, Thailand needs to they've got an army that's never fought a war really. Let's activate them, get the logistics out, and spread out across the country. Let the army handle vaccinating the country. I mean, that's what they should be doing. The military, they're not protecting their border. They're not getting invaded by, Myanmar and Laos and Cambodia.
Right.
Just this is the job. This is what the military should be doing, in my opinion. I mean, even here in the States, when the military gets involved, they're good at logistics. That's how they train. Let them do what they're supposed to do. Get the nation vaccinated. Figure out the plan. How you're going to get the rural counties vaccinated. They're a little bit safer because they're spread out more. That's good. But
right.
Right. In these major cities, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Nakhon Phanom, all those things, you get the military involved and get people vaccinated quicker.
Yeah, this is to me. It seems, I mean, I'd like to say it's unacceptable the way that they are that they are vaccinating people and the number of people that have been vaccinated so far and all this kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. What is this here?
Think positive.
Preventative pills, eyebrows,
and shoulders.
My opinions. We need a lockdown for at least 2 weeks. Talk positive. We are all alive. We all wake up every day. Positive thinking. Yeah, okay.
You're
Whatever
good.
You say, Mike.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, Mike. Okay. Good. We're alive. Okay, that's great.
All right.
I admit that's a positive. Every day above ground is a positive. I'll say that.
Two Minds. Are you in Thailand right now? Two Minds. I don't remember seeing Two Minds in the stream before, so I don't know if he's.
I've never seen him in the stream before, but who knows?
Who knows? He's saying we need, so I'm thinking he's in Thailand. So anyway, Scott, I to get to your full loop on your topic. He's in Bangkok for 3 years. Oh, okay. So there you go. Well, welcome to the stream.
Welcome, Yindi.
Yindi Don Rap Su.
Yindi Ton Rap.
Chong.
Yindi Ton Rap Two Minds. Oh, thank you for coming.
Yindi Don Rap Raigan Scott Malin, American in Bangkok.
Oh, God.
Would you say this is Raigan would be the program, but Chong would be the channel? So which would be more appropriate?
Chong Jet, Chong American in Bangkok.
Yeah, I think Chong would be more appropriate because it's unless you call it the American in Bangkok show, then Raigan would make more sense. But that makes sense.
Doesn't matter to me.
I know.
Call it what you will.
Two minds. Are you above or below 50? I'm 58, just to make you feel more comfortable with saying. And since no one really knows who you are, I'm just curious the age bracket that you're in. If you're
Yes,
one of
your age bracket.
yes, yeah, I do. I will time nightlife ever be the same? No, that's a short answer. It's not. I don't think it's going to ever be the same. I do think it will recover in a different way.
It hasn't been. Listen, you know what? I started saying that it wasn't the
Hey, Gennaro.
same. Hey, Janar, I started saying that it wasn't the same like 10 years
39.
ago.
I'm sure it's 39.
Before I started YouTubing, I was saying this, and people were going, you don't know what you're talking about. Then I got online, and people were like, it isn't a change. It's the same price as it was. My hotel is the same price. My apartment is the same price. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Listen, I mean, I said it, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I said it because I saw some certain things that were changing. One of the things was that in the old days, and I hate to say this, and this is just one thing, and it's not really important, aside from the guys who they're going out partying and want to stay out all night and that kind of thing.
Hey.
But the bar scene, the bar scene, it used to be that the bars were open until 4 in the morning.
No,
The
it's so
go-go bars.
great. Wasn't that amazing? Oh,
The
man.
girls, listen, if you're in a go-go bar, the girls were butt naked. They'd come up to you, sit on your lap, and you're like, "Oh, whoa, what's going on here, honey?"
And
like,
then
whoa.
and then you go after that. You can go to you go to the Nana Disco, or you'd wind up. Well, Nana closed it. Disco closed at 4 as well. But then you would go to Therme. Oh my God. Oh,
Terme. Andy Stubbs, thank you very, very much. Lunch is on me. Choke D, choke D. Andy is a bit of a traveler himself, and hopefully he'll be allowed to get out of Australia.
awesome.
Gennaro, yeah, I was wondering how you're doing. Good to know you're all right, though, and good to see you in here. We've
Yeah,
missed you
absolutely.
here. We have missed you here. Longhorns, that is too much damn information. We really don't need to know that. I got to hear that kind of talk in my house every day. Every day I hear that from somebody in my family.
Listen,
You
you
know,
got
oh,
them.
I had too much curry today, or my kids, mommy put too much spices in the
They got to take
rice
it
or
home.
whatever.
Hey, they're teenage boys. That's what they talk about.
They're young men. At
Yeah,
this point, they're young men. I don't expect them to be boys. I expect them to conduct themselves like men, which they do. Two Minds, thank you very much for becoming a new member. I like that. Thank you. Thumbs up. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Nice to see you, Gennaro. Yes, nice to see you. And I hate to, this is the thing, and I've always been this way. I don't generally think only about the positive or only about the negative. I try to weigh things out and see them as they are, as opposed to how I want to see them. I like to see things. Hey, it can go either way. I like to be in the middle, and some people have noted that already. But like I say, there's a lot of positives about Thailand. And hey, going to one of these islands and hanging out there and being a little beach bum for a while, uh, and bringing it to people who enjoy seeing those things, all that kind of stuff. That's a positive, right? Negatives are you're never quite sure what the government's going to do, but you have that negative in the United States as well, and Australia as well, and the UK as well. You have it all over the world. It's not specifically a Thai problem. There are some Thai problems here, but generally things are very positive here. And of course, it's always a good thing to be above ground. It beats the alternative. I'll say that.
Hmm.
When will vaccinations be available in Thailand? Listen, the paid vaccinations, they said, oh, well, we see that we'll start making them available in the hospitals in October. That's 6 months away. There are vaccines available now. They are coming in regularly, but these are the Chinese vaccines, and they're being given to essential workers and to people in the areas down in the south where they hope to open up. They say they're going to open up. And yeah, it's generally very slow. It may take a year or two to get through this stuff. So that's part of the problem. The
Yeah.
private hospitals can order 10 million doses, which is enough for 5 million people, apparently, the way with what they're ordering.
Yeah.
I don't want the Chinese vaccine, period.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
I don't
I don't
blame you.
trust it. You know,
I agree.
it's enough that I have to trust my iPhone that has Chinese parts in it, whether I want them in there or not. You know, not to bash on China. I want to be positive after all. Thank you, Chinese government, and thank you, American government, because the American government might have had something to do with it as well. Thank you for screwing up our world, and thank you to those who made airports such a pain in the ass to get through, because it's no longer fun to walk through an airport for the most
No.
part. I mean, think about it. Oh, take your shoes off, sir. Do you have a belt on? Do you have a metal hip?
Do you have a tissue in your pocket?
Laptop?
Yeah, I get called out for tissues in my pocket now. I'm like, really? Although
it's
I mean,
it's
do
too
you
much.
remember? You remember the time when you were a kid and you'd land and your parents would be waiting for you at the gate, like at the gate,
Yeah.
You'd be so excited to see them, and they can't.
And I said the other day, I remember the times, and I was 17 years old. I got on a plane, and I was like, what's going to happen if I just sit down in first class like I own this motherfucker? And I did that several times. And a couple times they were like, sir, can I see your ticket? Oh, am I in the wrong place? Is this first class? I'm just a dumb kid. What do I know?
Is this
get
not my
the
seat?
back with the cattle. And a couple of times it was fine. And they didn't say anything. I sat down there and like I own the freaking place. And,
Yeah. Carlos has to carry a card while he sets the machine off. I know a lot of people that have that. They have metal plates in them,
If the virus is from China, why not get their vaccine? You would think they would know better than anyone. Yeah, I understand. But you know what? I just have a thing about China. Call me stupid. I don't care. Whatever. I have to carry a medical card to explain why the machine set off. Actually, I have a letter about my hip in case the hip sets off although mine are like nylon and there's like a little piece of metal in there or something or whatever they are, polyurethane or some whatever it is. But anyway, thank you to all these people who have made our lives so much more difficult when really they didn't need to be. So we might as well be thankful. And if you really want to be positive and be politically correct, you could say, forgive them. But I look at it like they're taking time away from our children. They're taking time away from us in our life where we can live life as life is meant to live. And what I was thinking about the other day. Soy Dog Cowboy, you might be able to chime in on this. I don't know though, but you've been gone for a little while, and I know that Longhorns might be able to chime in.
On what?
You go into a bar and you see a girl there. She's a lovely little thing, perky little breasts, beautiful face, beautiful skin. She's got an ass to die for. She's got great legs, and you're like, damn, I think I want to get to know this woman. And so you say to her, hey, honey, when I take my mask off, check it out. I look all right. How about you go with me? And she decides to go with you. Now, she's mingling with many, many other customers. You go there and, listen, some guys don't have a problem kissing these girls.
Yeah, I don't kiss them.
Some guys don't have a problem going down yonder, down south, and doing things with these girls.
Yeah.
Think about it. Some girls, they don't have a problem with that. Back in my day, a long time ago, when they were girls, they were just regular girls, and they would be like, well, could you help me out maybe? Things like that were a lot more common. Maybe now, I don't know, because, I don't engage in these activities. I'm not around these kind of people anymore, hanging out in these areas, except for some of the people here in the stream that I interact with who just give me the play-by-play, once in a while. But what does that say about the bar scene when you go in there and guess what? It's almost like sex. Every person that she's been with, you've been with. because you ain't
Yeah.
going to be going at it with her with a mask on.
Well, yeah, I mean that's been look, that's been an adage for when HIV was around and everything. Look, you know that girl you're with, you know you're also with the person she's been with, and that person's been with. It's the
Right.
chain. You know, that's why it was like wear condoms. You know, which I do. But look,
Too
there,
much information.
yeah, those guys
No,
don't.
it's good. Safety first.
Yeah, there are a lot of guys that don't, and I'm like, you're
I know.
insane. You're
I know
insane.
a couple. And I'm like, dude, you're playing. Yeah, it's Russian roulette, but you know what? I think the odds are in my favor. And I'm like, I never understood that. And if not for any other reason, then maybe you don't want to get them pregnant or catch, some
Yeah, I just think,
disease that keeps on giving or that you don't know you have or anything like that. And let me tell you something: if you are in the scene for any period of time and you choose to forego, if you choose to go sans condom, you do run a risk. I mean, they're working girls. They you don't know who they're with. You know, safety first. Err on the side of precaution. What is this? I like daddy, but not with a stranger. I don't understand. Daty. No comprende. No habla. The new variant is so contagious, even shaking hands is dangerous, let alone having girls hop on guys' laps all night and then touch you or kiss your neck or breathe on you, give you the hot breath in the ear, that kind of stuff. Creates conversations with other people. Like I said before, I wear Magnum, so it falls off after 3 pumps. Oh, God. Dining at the Y. Dining at the Y. Excuse me. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, I like to dine at the wine, but not with a stranger. Exactly. There you go. See, I've forgotten so much about these acronyms. I don't even know the new ones, and I've forgotten a lot of the old ones. I regret not doing more girls pre-AIDS. Well, I'm not going to comment about that. I don't kiss and tell. Listen, I've been talking about this with quite a few older guys around my age, and the demographics of this channel are such that the majority. Let me see here again if I can figure this out real quick. But the majority of people watching are around our age group, Soy Dog Cowboy.
Yeah.
Let me give you the specifics real quick if I can pull them up here. Analytics. I like that YouTube does these kind of things. They have this available for, let's see, audience. I will tell you exactly where we stand. Okay. Other channels, no. Subscriber bills, blah, blah, blah. Watch top geographics. Okay. Age and gender. 0.3% females. Okay, great. I'm going to have to try to get more females into the stream somehow. 0.6%, 25 to 34. 35 to 44 is 30.8%. 45 to 54 is 34.5%. So that's a little bit younger than we are. And then 55 to 64 is 27.5%. And then the totally old bastards, 65 plus is 6.7%. And one thing I was reading yesterday is that there is such a thing as young old, medium old, and then old. Old is considered over 80 now. Young old is, I think it's like 79. What is it? 60, 65. Or medium old is 65 to 79. And then like 55 to 64 or whatever is considered young old. So that would be us. We are young old. Oh, Gennaro, you're taking off. All right, you take it easy, man.
Take it
Who
easy,
else?
Greg.
Older. Okay, guys, gotta go. All right, Carlos. Later, Carlos. Later, Carlos. Oh, okay. So Janara's still here. Let's see here. I come to here to mingle with younger generation to learn new things. 66. There you go. I'm an old git. There you go. Well, I'm getting there. And this is the thing. I always laugh now when I hear these younger guys. They're in their 20s. Oh, like my kids. You're old. You're so old. I'm like, don't worry. You're going to be there sooner than you think. It's not going to take that long. One day you're young and you're like, running around and you're having a great time and you're like, wow, I'm invincible. And the next thing you know, forget about it. You're an old fart. And sometimes that's beneficial and sometimes it's not. 60 is the new 40s now. Okay. What I always say is that you don't want to compare yourself to others, whatever age you are, because there are people that are 60 that are in fantastic condition. They have very few injuries. They're in great condition. They're going to, who knows? You think they're going to live to be 150. And then there's guys who are, 50 and they've been injured and they've got illnesses and they've got all kinds of things, whether it's from injury or from chronic conditions or whatever. So you can't compare yourself. Soy Dog Cowboy at 58 might not be the same as some guy that's, hanging out in Venice Beach and lifting weights every day and doing cardio and eating, wonderfully and never touching the Haagen-Dazs. They might be completely different. So then I'm still considered young. Next, young, old. Yeah, you're still a youngster. Charles Akana, what's happening? 48 is still 40s. 28, but I feel born in the wrong time. Well, I definitely feel I was born in the wrong time. I'm 58, but I feel 57. Well, I'm 58 and I feel about 70 physically. But then I wake up sometimes and I feel like I'm 58 and I feel like, hey, I'm like 30. I feel great, man. I'm going out. I'm going to go do some things, Those don't happen. Those days don't happen to me quite as often as they used to. And this begs the other question, which we have not talked about yet. What about those, middle-aged women working in the bars, working in the pubs? And I say middle-aged here in Thailand, and that's 25 to 35. What about those women who are like, 34, and they're already on their last leg? The shelf life is almost, they've almost reached their expiration date. And then, in 3 years, they're living on the farm, busting their ass, and it takes its toll on them. They might not be able to do the same things that they were doing before because they just don't have the right look anymore. Life has a way of brutalizing people. And I say that to just to add emphasis, but life has a way of, it's not fair. People are old and they get older. That's just life. I listen to FM radio stations that golden oldie stations suck. I'm always scared of older women. They've been with a lot of guys. 34, I don't go to those bars. Oh, God. Anyway, all right. Well, it's been a very nice stream. We're coming to the end of it. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go past 2 hours. I think even that is a bit long. And I'm sure Soy Dog Cowboy, being the old fart that he is getting tired. Do you feel still tired now?
A little bit better.
Have you been watching what you eat and what you consume? Hell no.
Please, Scott. That ain't happening.
Listen, as we were saying the other day, it's not necessarily that you don't know what you need to do. It's that you just go, fuck it. And,
I know. Listen.
You just go, hey, screw it. Excuse my French. You just go, hey, forget about it. Well, listen, I'm 58. I only got a few years left. I might as well have that Haagen-Dazs, right?
Yeah.
Although Nicholas has been getting on my case. He's like, you need to do some exercise and do some videos. I'm like, no, I don't really want to do that. He's like, no, you need to. He goes, and he said this to me, and I'm not shitting you. If you take your shirt off, sure, you got a bit of a gut on you. He goes, but you're still a big, muscular guy. I think people would be surprised. And I was like, Nicholas, stop kissing my ass. And he says, I'm not. And Nicholas is Nicholas is quite lean, just like
Yeah.
Alex. They're both thin and young, but he's putting some size on, and Alex is putting some size on. They're into the whole protein and that kind of thing. And Alex is strict with his diet. Nicholas not so much, but yeah, that's a good analogy there, Carl. We're like batteries. The juice goes more quickly than it used to. Yeah, and that's the other thing is, when you get older, you have the old man naps. And every
Yeah.
old man that I know laughs about it, but they all do it.
I love it. Love it. Love the old man nap. Anyway.
What's sugar aid? Never
Yeah.
heard of it. Time for my third tea. Yeah, that's the other thing. How many times do you have to wake up in the middle of the night? I'm very lucky in that
Usually
even when I
once.
wake up, most of the time, if I have to take a leak, I only have to take one in the middle of the night, if not zero. So I'm very lucky about that. Yeah, Mr. Dan. Trying 43 and trying to figure out whether I can quit work and enjoy life. That's the big question. Diet has been big for me. Now that I'm eating well, I feel much better. I ran 48 miles. 48. I ran 48 miles in 48 hours last month. Oh wow, that's great, man. I'd like to be able to do that, but my bones can't handle the pounding anymore. My hips and my knee. Uh, Walking, not so much. That's better. I could do that walking probably, but it would take me. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know. I can do that extreme. That's a bit much. I need some comfort food. I'm going to cook some bacon. Lovely. All right, Mr. Soy Dog Cowboy.
Mr.
I don't
Mel,
want to keep you because I know that you need your old man nap that is late at night.
this is the old man.
And we don't want to get on the subject that we usually reach when we get to this point in the stream.
Indeed.
We don't want to beat a dead horse, so to speak.
Absolutely. Anyway, it's always a pleasure, and
all right.
I will speak soon.
You take care.
Take care.
See ya. All right. Thank you there, Mr. Cowboy, for joining us. I really appreciate it. Now, I'm going to do something here. I don't know. I'd like to know something if anybody really has noticed, but is the audio better now than it has been? Can anybody tell the difference? Or should I move this closer? Testing. You're welcome, Dowlow. There we go. Oops, I got to get this out of the way there. Swim, yes. Well, I am walking. I do like to walk instead of swim. Although that's one of the reasons why I want to go to the beach. I'll take care of myself down on the beach there. Take care. Sasha, similar. Hey, Sasha, how you doing? Mr. Dan, Mr. Dallo. Audio sounds better. Okay, similar, same, sounds fine, seems fine. Well, fine is, I could unplug it, I guess, but I don't want to do that because maybe there won't be any audio. But anyway, whatever. I'll see. I'll be able to tell myself once the stream is done. Always better when you're not on StreamYards and better HD. Well, I'm on StreamYards right now. So I don't know. What does that say? Are you saying it's not as good now as it usually is? It's not good on Stream. I will say this about StreamYards. StreamYards to me is weak on the mobile when I'm using my mobile phone. However, it could be because the audio is shit, and I think the quality of the video is not as good. But the audio is shit because I haven't been using a microphone. That's what I believe, but it doesn't matter. I really don't want to use a microphone, and I don't want to use StreamYards when I'm out mobile. It's just too much of a pain in the ass because it's through a browser, So glad to hear the audio quality sounds good. You're watching on HD TV. That's very good. I'm doing some upgrades. There will be some more upgrades in the next few weeks. Like I got this little mic and I got a couple other little things. So that will help, hopefully. When I'm at home on StreamYards is much better. Mobile, it just doesn't work as much. Your square isn't HD while everyone else is HD. I don't know. What are you going to do? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for all the contributions. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the views. I really appreciate it. all the comments, and don't forget to smash that like button. Maybe even subscribe. Maybe even get a shirt or two. The sound is much better. Okay, well, that's good to know. That's really good to know. I'll figure it out once the stream is done. But that's all I have. It's time to go. Don't know where I'll be next, what I'll be doing next, but I'll be around soon, next 2 or 3 days, and there should be a video going up tomorrow morning. So until next time, I'm Scott. Son of a bitch, I forgot to put this up there. I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok, and that's all I got. So choke the jerkin my, and yeah. Until next time. All right. What is this? Don't forget to wipe both ways. Ew. Jerkin, you just had to bring that up. Too much information. All right. See you guys later.